Peace and assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm having a heck of a time trying to record this. I've had it on the dash, of course. The dash made it overheat and it shut off soon after I started recording. I'm messing around with this here flexible tripod I have, but we'll see how this goes this time. This is my third try. Let's hope that the third time truly is a charm. And it's crazy angle, I know. My apologies, but I want to get this out as I go about my day because I actually have several errands to run. So I just want to update for anyone who might be out there. I just want to update on my life, my accomplishments. I'm feeling a little happy. Yes, I am. First of all, inshallah, I'm going to be 49 in a few weeks. Yes, July 28th, Leo. So yeah, that's dope. That's an accomplishment. Nothing I had anything to do with, but that's cool. I think that's pretty dope. I'm gonna be 50, inshallah, next year. But so yeah, there are a few things that I have on my plate that's been going really well. First and foremost, I finally reapplied to college. So I gotta give a humongous shout out to my homie, my partner, my friend, the one and only great Mr. Williams, for giving me that push. He knows that if he gets in my ear, in my head. But anyway, so that's great. I actually applied, and I thought that I'd be able to drop off a couple of transcripts today, but they're closed for the week, so that won't be going down today. But inshallah, if I can figure out how to do what so many women have done before me and go full-time while I work, make some money for the household, then inshallah I will have my bachelor's in 2 years. And then it would be awesome if I can get my master's in the year after that. That would be so dope. And provided I'm no longer broke. And I'll probably look at Ashley or anything. If I am not broke, it would be dope if I could go on ahead and get that doctorate. I don't know how many years that'll take. But my 3-year plan, so far as education, is to have my master's. That would be awesome. It might be more like 4, but I'm not even thinking that. I'm going to say 3. So that's the first thing that I'm really happy, giddy about, accomplishing. You understand? I know I have not actually gotten anything yet. I'm not even in class yet. Haven't even been accepted yet. But it's still an accomplishment for me to have put forth the application. So I'm going to just give myself praise at every step, if you don't mind. But so that was that. Another thing I did is for the whole month of June, I went on a sugar fast. Well, I'm gonna say the first 29 days of June, I did a sugar fast. So I didn't have any like sweets or anything like that. I don't really do pasta and rice anyway, but I didn't do any pasta or rice. I ate bread a few times, but and I did eat crackers some to go with my like tuna fish because I gotta have pleasure somewhere. So, but it went really well. I didn't lose a whole lot of weight, which I was a little bummed about, but I did take some inches off the waist and was able to fasten my pants again. So that's dope. So I lost between June 1st and yesterday, I lost about 9 pounds. But in saying that, So the 29th, which was last Tuesday, I was supposed to finish up the sugar fast on June 30th, which would have been Wednesday, but I was like, I got no more discipline. I gotta do this. So I went to Whole Foods and got, some muffins and all that kind of thing. And so I said, well, last year when I lost about like 25 pounds, I initially, for the first few months, I didn't do anything. Like, I gave up everything with the leaky gut diet, and then I think we also did the Whole 30 for about a month or something like that. But then I started doing my sweets once a week. So I said, I would do that, which meant that today, Tuesday, would have been my next time that I could have some sweets. But again, lost that discipline, dropped the ball yesterday at about 5 o'clock. So I said, I would just give myself 24 hours, which would still be a day. So I actually have it till about 5 o'clock now, maybe about 4.5 or so hours, so I can get my junk food eat on. But the truth is, I'm like done. I don't really want nothing. I need some water right now, but I don't need any like sweet stuff. I think I got it out of my system. But so yeah, that was another accomplishment. So what else? Oh, my garden. My garden is coming along lovely-ish. That groundhog. Oh, that sucker. Boy, you're lucky I don't return to my ancestral roots, because I would kill that sucker and skin him. But what I ended up doing, since I have, I said in another video, I'm sure, that I've made like 4 raised beds this year in my, in my space. And so I ended up putting chicken wire around 3 of them, and they are all doing far better. Like, they are flourishing. My tomatoes, everything are like just doing really well. The 4th raised bed that I have, it has a squash plant in there and watermelon. That groundhogs, they don't just simply eat everything. They have their preferences. So they totally demolished my sunflower plants, which I'm really bummed, pissed about, because I was truly looking forward to having all my sunflowers looking so tall and beautiful, man. That makes me feel like my garden is successful when I see all those beautiful sunflowers. But that old stinking thing messed them all up. I guess I could plant more, but they take time to actually get big and beautiful. It's already July, so I don't think I'm gonna bother with it. But who knows? I might change my mind. But so I'm not really sure if it started bothering the squash that's in the unfenced raised bed. The watermelon vines are like just big and beautiful. They're just all over the place. I don't know if they started fruiting yet though. I haven't really been out there a lot this past week. I normally would be out there every day, but I've just had so many things to do, and I've been working. But then I have 4 big black tubs that I use, for container gardening. Those, first of all, I have two cucumber plants in one. They were doing horribly because the daggone thing kept eating the leaves off and stuff. So my son told me that an elder advised him to put fishing line around areas where groundhogs and like other animals, deer and stuff, tend to get into. And so he told me how to do it. I did that. I was supposed to put it on the outside of my fence to hopefully keep them from coming in at all, but I just haven't gotten to that yet. But I did put it around the container with the cucumbers in, and lo and behold, they are flourishing now. But the other 3 I didn't do them around because two of them have, well, one of them has a bell pepper plant, and unbeknownst to me, bell peppers take a really long time to grow, and they don't seem, the groundhog or groundhogs or whatever, however many is there, don't seem to bother them. I guess they don't like them. So I didn't do anything to that one. As of yet, I'm still going to. But the two squash plants in the other two containers, you know, I knew they would get too big, because if you ever grown squash, you know they get really big. And I've actually never grown squash in a container before, so I didn't do it around those two. And the groundhogs were not bothering them. But now that I have protected the other plants, they have gone on over there and they've eaten all the daggone sunflower plants. They've started to eat on my squashes. Is it squashes or squash? Well, they've been eating them. Oh, I'm getting mad. They were like so full, and it's very obvious that they've begun eating the leaves off of those. Makes me mad. So, what am I gonna do? I was trying to figure out if it would be efficient getting more chicken wire, which can be costly, getting more chicken wire and putting it around the containers. But the thing is, right where they are is where, oh, and I also put heavy blocks, like 10-pound blocks, at different openings where I knew they were getting under the fence. So I don't think they're getting in those ways anymore, but I ran out of blocks. So where I think they are getting in now is a big old hole where they burrowed in, and it's right there. It's right at where the containers are, and I cannot move them. There's nowhere else to put them where it would be aesthetically pleasing anyway. But what I found though, honey, thank the Lord for Martha Stewart. That is my girl. So I saw that on Disney Plus. She has a new show called, I think it's called Martha Gets Down and Dirty, and she really does. That's my Jersey sister, because she is just being so fresh. So it's like a play on being dirty because she's in the garden, and being dirty because she is a freak. So but it's a great show. And so someone came on there and asked the question about what to do about her peach trees or something, because her trees are right next to a fence. Of course, she can't move the tree. She can't move the fence. She wanted to know what to do because the squirrels keep eating all her, labor, her hard labor. So Martha Stewart mentioned putting a fruit net. I never heard of this before. So she told her to get a fruit net, I think she called it, and how to do that. So I'm like, I wonder if I can get that to put over my plants. Lo and behold, I can, and it's not expensive. So they have something here I looked up online. I'm about to go into this local Lowe's and get me some. I think a 7 by 100 foot is like $20 or something like that, like 19 or some change. I don't call. I looked at a bunch of them, but inshallah, I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab some landscape pins like it suggested, and see if I can do this, because I'm really sick and tired of these things eating up all my stuff. And a lot of people, like my baby girl, would feel like, well, animals, they have to eat too. Like, why can't they eat some of your stuff? No. I don't see bush people letting animals come and eat their food. I ain't doing it either. Yes, I did go there. I did. So it's that. And the last thing, because I don't really want to make this video so long, it's already almost 15 minutes. The last thing, last week, I had to, well, like a week and a half ago, so I guess a week before last now, I had to call off work a few days because I don't know if I ever mentioned, but with my hand, I think I did mention. I make videos and never upload them, so I don't know if I did it, but I have, this congenital deformity, and so I've never ever in 49 years had a problem with it. Like, I can do anything I want to do. I'm not handicapped. I'm not disabled or anything like that. I just do things differently than other people do with their left hand. And so I never had a problem. But me being in healthcare for the past 10 or 11 years, the way I use my gloves, I wish I had one where I could demonstrate. I put it on normally, and the fingers would be all, loose, So I put it on, and I take it off, and if you ever undone the glove before, or I forget the actual word for it, but if you ever taken off a plastic or latex glove before, you know how it is when it's inside out. So I put it on, I take it off, and then put it back on inside out. And then I can still work and everything. I have my hands protected and have my, resonance protected. But even with me wearing the medium size, which gives me space, it still is a little bit constricting. It still puts a little bit of pressure on it. And after so many years, I started realizing years ago, actually, that it was giving me discomfort and giving me some pain in my hands. But it was nothing major. It was just, like I said, a little discomfort. But I guess, and again, it's just been years of this. And I'm just like, I have to do something about it. I've searched and searched on how I could get some manufactured for myself. But it's just a no-go. I just can't find any. If you have any concrete information where I can actually get that done, please do let me know in the comment box. But it's just a no-go. So I've been having to wear it that way. And I suppose that with COVID, like in normal situations, I can get away with only wearing the one oftentimes because, I don't necessarily need to. Unless, I'm doing something like cleaning somebody who's been incontinent or something, like that, dealing with some sort of contamination. But for the most part, I don't have to wear both. But during the whole COVID situation, when it was just real banging, I know it's still going on, but when it was just really, at its peak, I had to wear two, and it was constant. And so I think from that, it put so much stress on my hand that now it started hurting a lot. And so finally, week before last, I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't go to work. I had to call off for 3 days. And so I went to the bone doctor. First of all, I hit my PCP up about it. She's a nurse practitioner, and she serves, she serves a what's the word? She does what I need her to do ish. I don't think for whatever reason, I don't think she is very into me as a patient. And I don't go to her all the time because you don't have to go to the PCP all the time. When I was going through my situation with my lungs and things like that, I just don't feel that she is very present when I come to see her. I know that she has lots of patients, and again, we don't see each other all the time, but I think that when I come there, she doesn't remember. Like, I know it's probably like go. Although in clinics, in hospitals and such, it's definitely not like where I work, where it's definitely jumping because we have so many patients to deal with right then and there. But, in saying that, I'm sure she has a lot on her plate. She's doing it. But, like, why not look to see what's going on before you come in? Or, to like update yourself, like, oh, who is she again? Or if you're there in the room with the patient, don't let the patient know that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I just feel she's like that. So, and these days, well, no days probably, it's not like you can call and actually talk or have a one-on-one with your doctor or your PCP. So everything is done between you and the receptionist. So I called about it, and in a nutshell, I really got the impression they thought I was just trying to take off work, which pissed me off. First of all, if a patient is telling you something is going on, you're not assessing them, you're not talking to them, you're not saying, okay, come in, let me look at it real quick, or none of that is going on. You're simply coming to the conclusion for yourself that it's all right, nothing is really wrong. So I called initially like 2 weeks ago and asked to have a prescription sent over for me to get an x-ray, which she did. And because I hadn't heard from them in several days, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna call today and see what's going on. But the receptionist called me before I could do that, and she's like, I'm just calling to see if anybody called you to let you know you can go over. No, they did not, and thank you, because I am in pain. What if I had like a fracture or something? I don't know. I just think, and this is not just picking on them, just being in this field, I feel, or I know that so many people, I question why they're in health. Like, you have little empathy. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, so I went for the x-ray and they couldn't find anything. So I guess that would have been more fuel for them to feel like, she's good. I don't know what it is. And then again, I don't know if this is so. I don't know if this is so, but I wonder if it is so. There is a huge problem with people with disabilities, or that people perceive as disabilities, of them not getting proper care or concern or whatever. So part of me is feeling like, is it like because it's my hand, I was born this way or whatever, and it's just like, oh, she good, she just being extra. Nah, Mo. Blech. Let me not cut. No. My hand was hurting. I had sharp pains, like stabbing pains all through my hand. I couldn't hardly do anything with it, Even now, if I'm just holding like this or a sheet of paper for too long, by too long, I mean less than a minute, it starts hurting, like, and it's not as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago, but it's still there. Like, I can't, I have a hard time fixing my scarf or just doing different things. So I called, so that was Wednesday before last that I went for the x-ray. They said they would give me a note for the doctor. I called back and said, can you please, because I only had to work 3 days coming up, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I asked if I could get one from all of them, because I knew what I was going through and what I could and couldn't do with my hand. And working in long-term care, you have to use two hands. Even if we're just talking about me unscrewing a bottle, a medication, it's putting a lot of stress and pain on my hand. So then I got pissed off, because I'm not the type, I don't ask people for stuff too tough. I don't look for help. I don't call off of work, because I feel like it's a team, and if you don't come in, you're letting down somebody else. Somebody else got to come through for you. I don't think that's fair, so I don't do that type of stuff unless it's seriously something going on, like my hand. What really irks me to no end, though, is she's like, the receptionist calls me back and says, well, she said that she can't give you one for she can't give you one for all those days. That she'll give you one for Thursday also, but only if you go to the bone doctor and all this kind of foolishness. And I'm like, I'm always getting pissed off because, like I've said, I was self-employed for many, many, many years, and the mere fact that I work for somebody else be like, it takes a piece of my spirit. You know what I mean? Um, Even though I regard myself as, a contractor, but still, I'm still at the mercy of others. You know what I mean? And so that was just more fuel for me. Like, I gotta get this business off the ground. So, I went to the bone doctor. This is so long, and y'all know how I tell stories. So I did go to the bone doctor, and so he comes in and he's like, he looks at my x-ray first of all that I did the day before. And again, there's nothing is showing up. No arthritis, no fractures, no trauma, no nothing. And so he feels my hand. He's like, it's right here, right here. So then immediately he's like, you have trigger finger. Child, I'm from North New Jersey. Only trigger finger I know about is shooting somebody's ass up. So I'm like, trigger finger? Is he like being funny? So it's an actual thing. If you Google it, it's an actual thing. So he explained to me how, and it's just not people with deformities. It's with just fingers, period. So he explained to me that the tendon that's there at the joint, he's like, there's something, I forget what he called it, where he was just like, there's something underneath there that, with trigger finger, your finger gets like stiff and you have to like pop it up. Like you have to force it up, which I don't want to have to do that. That's so weird. Plus, how would I do that with this finger? I don't understand. And so, it's great. Now I know what's going on, It doesn't change the pain factor. But so he suggested to me what they normally do for treatment is they give you a splint, which is not possible because not for him, not for them. They don't have a splint for my hand. I'm sure I could come up with something, but the other thing is a steroid shot in the finger. I don't like putting just any old thing in my body, so I like passed on that. I like to do my research first, which anybody who knows me knows this is so, because y'all be getting mad at me for not following suit and doing shit. They in my way. But, so I wanted to check it out and see what's, going on. But also, there's something called Voltaren, which is a cream. It's like really, really good being gay. But without the scent. He gave me that. I tried it a few times. I don't think it does anything for me, so I haven't been using it. But I just worked a 5-day in a row, and as I suspected and as I was afraid of, it put more trauma on my hand. And so where the pain has started to sort of wane, it's starting to come back. And so I'm going to go today, inshallah, after I do things I have to do, because I don't know what type of effect it's going to have on my hand. I'm going to go on ahead and try out that steroid shot because I have to work. So I just got to take one for the team, So yeah, hopefully I'll be better. Oh, and then the other thing, he said that if indeed it is that, because there's always a chance that he misdiagnosed, that is probably just going to get worse, which I can see that happening. And so they do have a surgery. He said it's simple, but to me, no surgery is simple. I don't care if it's a tooth extraction. Child, I'll be bugging. I don't like none of that stuff. But and they go in there and they sort of clip that, not the tendon itself, but that, I can't think of what it was called, but they just go in and clip that, and Somebody told me that her grandfather had trigger finger and that he got it done. She said he got it done twice, I guess different fingers, and that he was really happy he had done it. I think she told me she had trigger finger too, but I don't recall if she got the surgery or she was talking about the steroid shot. But nonetheless, I'm gonna have to do that, inshallah. And oh, one last thing. God, this video is so long. One last thing that I consider an accomplishment. I'm not gonna go into because I don't want to put that in the universe just yet. And you know, sometimes you can speak too fast, but I am finally also working on a couple of businesses, a couple of companies that I've been wanting to start up for a while, and just, you know, everything that was going on in my life, I just hadn't gotten around to doing it, but alhamdulillah, I am now. So just send me out some good vibes, some good prayers, y'all, for my success. Don't be praying for nothing to go wrong. Y'all keep that. Don't do that one. But absolutely, if you can send a sister some good vibes, ask Allah to send some blessings upon me and my businesses, that'd be dope. And I would truly, truly appreciate it so much. So with that, at 31 and a half minutes, mother be long-winded, I know. I'll check y'all out later. Oh, and I always forget to ask you to please subscribe, like, and share. If I said anything that you think ever makes any sense or could be of help to somebody, do that. Alright, peace, and may Allah continue to protect you all.